We're going to start off this week's show finding out about Taurus and what's in store for Gemini. I love knowing what's in store in the stars. I always read my horoscope. I don't know about you girls. Are you into horoscopes? We know you are.
Yeah,
And Lady B is so well into
it.
So have you always been like a horoscope kid?
I think, yeah, if I'm looking at a magazine or a paper, yeah, I always nip to the back and see. And some of them are just so kind of random, but there's always something in there that you kind of go, yeah, I'm going to take that and go with that today.
I actually quit my job in England and moved back to Spain because Russell Grant had written in The Sun that today was the day to do something that you've been wanting to do. And I walked into my bosses at Ocean Air Freight, and either was, I'm off. I said, why? I said, Russell Grant said today's the day.
It's Russell's fault.
And here you are, so he was right.
He was right. He was right. Exactly. I got goosebumps thinking about it. The youth,
that.
you know, like, oh yeah, I've been given permission. I'm off.
There you go. So it does, yeah. So
Is that typical of Taurus? Not really. No, we're very.
No,
we're normally
Taurus-
quite staid.
Yeah, so coming to the end of the Taurus season now, and Taurians generally are more solid, more reliable. You know, that's quite a big risk for a Taurus. But
Yeah,
obviously,
it's not normal.
It's not normal, but obviously that was in there with you, and you thought, right, this is the day I'm going to seize the moment. So they can be quite decisive, and once they do decide to do something, they'll absolutely commit and go for it and work tirelessly. So they're real workaholics, and you do work very hard. So that kind of consistent and working. But then the flip side of that is they can be a little bit stubborn. So once they get it in their head that they're doing it,
We've never noticed that.
Thank you for being so supportive in that respect.
But sometimes being stubborn can be quite good, but they can, if they've made their mind up, they're a fixed sign. So once they're quite dogged, I've made my mind up and I'm not changing, and it takes a lot to sort of, make them do something that they don't want to do. So yeah, but I like Taurians. And happy birthday.
Phew, thank you very much. It's a big month of May for me and my family. We're a lot of Taurians. My grandmother was the 1st of May, my mother the 8th of May, I'm the 6th of May, my daughter's the 13th of May.
Wow.
That's a lot of Taurus energy in one
A
hand.
lot of
and
Taurus
all women,
energy
all
in one,
female
yes.
energy as well.
How'd you all get on with each other?
Well,
We don't.
I'm thinking about it. I'm actually answering honestly. I'm taking a moment to think about it. Yes, in general, well, but I do see that we do have fixed ideas, and therefore if they're conflicting, it can take a lot of cajoling and manoeuvring. Because
like I said, yours is right, mine's right.
I think like my daughter and me are the same. If someone says that to me, automatically it's like, no, I can't. Learning to do a swimming or a something, and someone says, well, try it this way. No. But then on your own, and I see this is my daughter as well, on her own, we'll go and give it a go. And I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like not, but yeah, to take leaps and things is not normal. I normally take a long time.
When you've got people that are the same star sign and are really similar, it can sometimes be a really positive thing and sometimes not so much, depending on the,
I think it depends on the nature of the relationship as well. So a mother-daughter might clash more anyway. So if you're both having the same sort of fixed views, more tricky. Friends, Leos.
Yeah.
I have loads of we're Leos, and I have loads of Leo friends. So it depends on the dynamic, really. So, but Taurians, overall, very nice.
Thank you, phew. What a relief. Breathe easy, Taurians.
We're coming out
Lady
of
B
Taurus
approves.
now. So now, because we're getting towards the end of May, we're moving into Gemini season, which is an air sign. So very different to Taurus. So air signs typically more flexible, more fluid, bit more visionary, get an idea and go with it. So that's very different to a Taurus.
Yeah, I don't like change. No, I prefer.
No, Taurians don't like change.
Yeah,
but that's because you're a fixed sign. Yeah. So the other fixed sign, so Leo's a fixed sign. So they just like to know what's what, plans, doing what they know. Whereas Gemini, much more free, much more flexible. Very sociable, actually, Geminis. They're social butterflies, like to go out, like to go and meet people, learn stuff, very cerebral. So they'll approach a situation with a more kind of logical mind rather than an emotional state. So they'll look at something and is that right? Is it good? Pros and cons. Whereas other signs might be, like water signs, would be more inclined to go with how they feel about it. But also Gemini is the sign of the twins. So if people do have Geminis in their family or in a relationship with a Gemini, one thing that's really key is they always have two sides, because it is the sign of the twins.
Two sides or two-faced? I mean,
Well,
doesn't it make you feel
well,
like, I mean, I have more than two sides, I imagine, to my personality. There's lots of different people in here. But when you hear Gemini,
I think they're quite, but I think it's more marked with a Gemini. So like if you're friends with one, let's say, one day they might be this way, of a type of character, and then you'll see them again and they'll be completely different. But it's this sort of going back and forth. They've got just like two sides to the character. It doesn't always mean it's a bad thing, but it's just something to be aware of, what they can be like, and they can be a bit gossipy because of that. So, you know, that kind of
Talking amongst themselves.
yeah,
in their own
Is
person.
it me? Yeah, who am I today?
Let's just work out where we're going today.
So yeah, very chatty, I mean, they're great fun, like life and soul of a party. You know, you'll know a Gemini, always, you know, very good communicators, good in jobs like marketing and that sort of stuff, getting themselves out there. So yeah, so that is Gemini season.
My mum was Gemini, and so much of what you're saying, I was like, yeah, that's her. Yeah,
Exactly, like so personable
much.
and chatty.
Yeah.
And always sort of new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like they like information, they like sharing information, they like learning about things, they like telling people, helping people, that kind of whole...
And with the two sides thing,
Really?
Mum would always kind of see other people's point of view. Always, whenever there was a discussion or an argument between two people, even if she wasn't involved in it, she'd go, well, maybe they're coming from this perspective, and they probably feel like this because, you know, she would always see
really
from
good.
the two sides instead of, you know, some people it's just their way and that's it. But she'd always go, well, no,
That's a really nice trait actually from a mum as well, because you know when you're growing up and you're like no, and they're like, hang on, look at this, look at that, and it encourages you to, you know, that's not, and also Libra is also like that again with the balance, and also an air sign. So
My
Gemini,
son's Libra.
yeah, they're much more balanced. Actually, Libra and Taurus, nice fit. So both ruled by the same planets. That's a lovely fit for
Both avoiding conflict at all
but they're
costs.
very balanced.
But if it comes to it,
Yeah, you'll do it. Yeah, so with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius all fit well together because they have that sort of that kind of view, that openness.
and how for everybody else, like the general people who aren't Geminis or Taurus, are there any like influences at this time of year or anything particularly?
I think what people just generally should always keep an eye on what's going on with the moon. So the lunar cycle is always quite important. So we've just had a full moon recently in Scorpio, and whatever sign the full moon is in, if you just keep a check, 'cause there's loads of apps that can do it. You'll notice how you feel, your moods, things to be, and depending on what sign it's in. So the last one was in Scorpio. Then you'll take the traits of a Scorpio, and it sort of is amplified through the full moon energy. So that's quite a nice trait for people to just be aware of for their own sign.
It is strange. You do notice if you think about it that when the moon is full and different things, it does, you know, like.
It's really interesting. So my kids are so funny. They're literally, because obviously they're aware of all astrology and planets and stuff because of me. But when it's a full moon, they cannot sleep. They sleep differently, and even to the point where they go to bed, they're like, "Oh, mummy, is it a full moon?"
Well, they know what's happening.
Mummy, what is going on? And I'm like, "Oh,
I can't go to school in the morning.
I'm tired. I've got tummy ache. Is it full moon?" So no, but it's true. I think once you become aware of it, it's really interesting. It's so easy to sort of chart it. And go with it and see how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, really, doesn't it?
Well, the word lunatic comes from lunar.
Lunar,
you know,
lunar.
people really being affected by the moon
Yeah.
because it can really, you know, a lot of women as well and their menstrual cycle,
Yeah.
it can all be connected, and people can really go kind of crazy when it's full moon, can't they?
And it's the same number of days for a cycle for a woman as it is for a lunar cycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
29.
So we're very
28.
connected to the moon.
Yeah, so, and you don't realise until you start looking at it. It's really interesting.
It is, and lovely that through you that we're actually getting a little bit more and more, because the more you hear things, for me, I need a lot of repetition to understand and learn things. Once I get it, it's okay.
Good.
But I love hearing the different things, because it's a shame when we're not aware.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of times we just go through our days and we're not really conscious of what we're doing. We're just going through the
That's
motions.
so true, yeah.
And if we actually paid more attention to why we're feeling maybe a little
and
bit
go inward a bit
antsy
more.
or something,
And
Yeah,
just take some time, just look up to the stars, look up to the moon.
Yeah, I love
How
that.
beautiful is the
Oh,
sky?
I
We
love
forget
it.
to look up sometimes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I don't think we look up enough. I know there's that
Gorgeous,
movie,
that-
Don't
look
Look
at that
Up,
lovely blue sky.
but I think it's very true.
Yeah.
We're so busy, and nowadays with the phones, I mean, not
Everyone's
we're not
looking
looking
down.
up,
Don't
we're
get me
literally
started.
just
Everyone's
looking down.
Just look up at that beautiful blue sky.
It's amazing.
I say to my
Beautiful.
kids, only look down if you're wearing new trainers.
Oh,
So I say shoulders back, head up, and you only look down if you've got new shoes on.
and that's a
And they're like, all right. I saw as well, my daughter does it with her friends at school. She's like, shoulders back. I'm like, oh my God, it's going through generations.
But it's
My
nice
mum
you
said
don't
it to me.
realise how important it is.
Yeah.
My dad always used to say shoulders back,
Yes.
bosoms out, and drove me crazy. The embarrassment that he just even said that word. However, now that I do television, I'm very grateful
But it's
that I
so
learned that
important,
posture, although
yeah.
it grossed me out enormously as a child.
Yeah. Just take
hearing
shoulders
him say
back.
that. Just shoulders.
Shoulders
back. Unless you got on new shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I was going to say would be very nice if maybe when you're back next time, you could do another little tarot reading for us. It's
I'd
been
love
quite
to.
a while.
I would love that.
That would be nice because we had a good time, didn't we?
That
when
was
you were
brilliant.
telling
We had
us
them
all
here,
our
didn't
little
we?
bit. We
And you
did.
picked a card. Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that.
so we do that maybe next
Yes,
time
definitely.
when you
Yeah.
come back again.
Yeah.
And just quickly before we finish, this lovely lady is staying here at Hard Rock Hotel.
Amazing.
How
That
is
one.
it, Nikki? How are you finding
It's
it?
amazing. Love it. It's really nice. It's so big because we were in this little bit. The hotel's actually really big and it's gorgeous and it's clean and the rooms are nice and yeah, it's
And the
great.
staff are so charming.
They are.
Charming and helpful and friendly. So yeah, it's really good.
Wonderful.
Really like it. I'm going to sunbathe for the rest of the day.
Wonderful. Sleep
look-
over
look
for the
up.
rest of us. We're all
Look
going to
up,
hang
look
out
up.
with Nikki.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for our update.
Thanks for having me.
Looks like the stars, everything's good for everyone. So make the most of it.
Enjoy.